Hi, Editing Kerry here. I was going to scrap this video and decided not to. I filmed this video as part of 3 that I filmed on a day when I had a block of time to be able to film some videos. I was starting to get tired and conscious of my time running out, and there was a lot of outside noises, lawnmowers, motorcycles, all these things, and I was starting to get really anxious. And you'll see what I mean. If you've watched my AuDHD video and then watch this one, you'll notice a noticeable difference in my affect, and I was going to scrap it and I decided not to. 2 reasons. 1, I don't know that I can really be bothered filming it, but also 2, I think it's important that I certainly don't think that things like autism and ADHD need to be performative. That's not what I'm suggesting, but I think it's important that people see what that looks like, that sometimes autism and ADHD are disabling because they are disabilities, and that 100% made me a lot more anxious and made this whole video a little bit more, I don't know, a little more unhinged than I would have liked. Even though the information in it is good, it's a little more unhinged than I probably would have liked. And old me would have scrapped it because it didn't present well, but I'm quite tired of putting myself into boxes and squashing myself down trying to be perfect. I am not perfect. I am tired. I am moderately old and I am disabled. And sometimes that disability is going to present differently, and I think it's important that especially younger people than me, seeing us come ahead of them, need to see that it is absolutely okay. Let's be honest, the young ones are leading the way, but it is absolutely okay to not be on it all the time. In fact, at the very beginning of the video, you'll see me doing a little stimmy dance. I was going to cut it out, and my husband said, no, you should leave that in. And you'll also see, and it's actually a little upsetting to me, honestly, watching it back, watching me go from neutral to on and actually watching myself switch on masking in real time. So interesting little aside at the beginning of the film, but also, yeah, a little bit more agitated and chaotic than I normally am on film, but I'm going to leave it in because I think it's important representation. So I hope you stick with it. Hey howdy hey, welcome back to my channel. This is my 3rd video that I have filmed. It may be the first one of me that you're seeing. If this is your first video of me, my name is Kerry. I don't know what I am, but I'm here. This is the Barely Woven Workshop. I chose that name because I think it ties in a few of my interests. It's got the workshop vibe because I like to make things, barely woven because my connective tissue was purchased off Temu. And also too, I'm a little unhinged, but that's okay. It's good to be unhinged in postmenopause. What I would want to chat about today is mast cell activation disorder, and more specifically what mast cells are, because I don't think everyone knows this, because people think allergy, they think histamine, they think sneezies, take an antihistamine, you're fine, or you have anaphylaxis and you have to go to the hospital. There's a lot in there, so let's get started. Now, before we do, I want to stress, please, I am not a doctor. I'm an enthusiast, which means I've read a lot of medical journals, but I am not a doctor. Nothing I say should be considered medical advice. Nothing I say should be considered truth. For goodness sake, don't listen to randos on the internet. Look it up for yourself. I will put a lot of information in the drop-down thingy. I hope it's a great jumping off point for you to learn more, but please don't take random weirdos on the internet's word for it. Go and see a doctor. Now, Mast Cell Activation Syndrome and its bigger, meaner brother, Mastocytosis. Mast cells exist in every single person's body. They're there for a reason, and they're super important. They are literally the security of your body. When something comes to your body that shouldn't be there, like grass, nuts, seafood, something that your body specifically doesn't like, mast cells kind of have that whole, hey, whoa, ID, who are you? And if you're not allergic to nuts and things like that, your mast cells will say, all right, carry on. If you do have a problem with it, your body will go, hey, no. And mast cells will go, okay, we are dealing with grass. Histamine, you're up. Go and make that guy sneeze so he knows that we don't like grass, okay? All of these reactions are protective measures. They're not just something happening in your body in response to the thing. They're protective measures to make you stop doing the thing that's putting you at risk. Make that guy sneeze so he walks away from that cut grass. Great job. All right, everybody, let's calm down. He's had an antihistamine. Great job, histamine. You know, towel off, have a seat. You've done great. Oh, you have a throat infection. Eosinophils, you're up. Get to that throat. Make it as weird and gooey and gross and swollen as you can so that they can fight that off. Great job. Now, what happens in mast cell activation is that mast cell that has leukotrienes, eosinophils, histamines, a bunch of others that I can't remember off the top of my head because brain fog, all in that little ball just waiting. Super excited, waiting for their chance to get off the bench and go fight something. What happens in mast cell activation is everybody gets off the bench at once. Everything that enters your body is seen as a threat. Not ideal. Now, in some conditions, so certain things like in mastocytosis, you will have way too many mast cells. So you have way more response than you should. In mast cell activation, you have degranulation, which is basically like they open the roller door and everybody makes a run for it. All of those situations, and there's a lot of things that fall under the same kind of banner of mast cell problems. So you could have, oh golly, cover me, hereditary alpha tryptophanemia or HAT. You could have mastocytosis, which includes a few different types of mastocytosis, even a type of leukemia, but the majority of them aren't, don't panic. Mast cell activation disorder, which covers a banner of pretty much everything involving mast cell problems. This is where your doctor comes in. You need to go see them. All of these, they do tests, they figure it out. In theory, they figure it out. That's how that all works. How they present. Mast cell problems usually have symptoms like itchy skin with no obvious cause. Forgotten the word as soon as I went to say it. Dermatographia, so skin writing. So I don't know whether, hang on, let me see if I can just show you. I'm just going to scratch. I'm not hurting myself. I'm just scratching myself with my nail. You'll see the raised mark. Dermatographia is you get hives as a reaction. Actually, you might still be able to see the lumps I've got. You can sort of see the lumps I've got. My cat gently scratched me yesterday and I've still got lumps from that. So that's an example of that. So sorry. Itching, dermatographia, hives, sneezing, flushing, swelling, all the sorts of things that you associate with an allergic reaction. Things you may not necessarily consider are gastrointestinal reactions. Things like diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, bloating. They can happen for a whole bunch of reasons, but they can also happen as a reaction to something. So for example, did you know that there are multiple types of anaphylaxis? That was something I didn't realize. I was asked, do I have anaphylaxis? And I said, oh no, I'm thinking, oh, choking, he can't breathe. Quick, get him an EpiPen, get him to the hospital. No, I've never had that. I have actually had anaphylaxis. The sort of anaphylaxis you get from bee stings and wasp stings, I want to say Hymenoptera, I think is what it's called, often makes you sick. So makes you vomit, diarrhea. You don't actually tend to get a lot of shortness of breath with bee stings. You can, it's not a thing that you don't, but gastrointestinal problems are very, very common. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't think of that as being a mast cell related problem. If you have an allergy that a simple antihistamine can't knock over, you should be seriously looking into whether or not you have some sort of mast cell problem. And I'm just assuming, I take many, many medicines for allergies, but I don't know if you can see, you probably can't, this is weird. Where are we? I'm trying to get it on screen. I don't know if you can't see the lump, but I lump up. Even with multiple medicines, I lump up. When I get too hot, my face and chest go beetroot red. I'm getting a little hot right now, so you can sort of see it. When I get too cold, I also get extreme pain, and my skin goes kind of white-blue. I have a little bit of Raynaud's phenomenon, if you want to look that up. A lot of those things flow into mast cell reactions. Now, you can avoid pet hair. You can avoid You can avoid cut grass, you can avoid nuts, you can avoid shellfish. If you have an allergy to those things, that's a good idea. You should avoid them. The problem with a mast cell problem is that if you avoid the thing that you have an allergy with, they'll find something else. I have developed an allergy to wheat. I've eaten wheat most of my adult life, but my body's decided now that wheat's a problem. You may develop an allergy to pressure. I get pressure and sunlight urticaria, which is hives. So if I push on my arm for too long, I actually get welts just because I pushed on it for too long. If I go out in the sun and get too hot, I get like a heat rash on my skin from sunlight. Now, I can't avoid sunlight. The problem isn't the exposure. The problem is the fact that my body deems all exposure to be a threat. I'm on multiple medicines for it. I never want to actually discuss any of the medicines that I take on this channel because I feel like that veers into the medical advice lane. I do not want to give you medical advice. I want to give you something that will give you information, possibly a jumping off point, possibly something to bring up with your doctor. I don't ever want to give you any ideas on how to treat this thing because I am not a doctor. Circling back. Now, things like mastocytosis, they can every bit as much of a problem, but they can even be more dangerous than mast cell because they can, in some cases, turn into things that are even more life-threatening. And I don't just mean anaphylaxis, I mean they can actually become a type of leukemia. So these things can be problematic, but they can be very life-threatening. I have severe allergic asthma, which I think also ties into this. I have almost died a couple of times from asthma attacks. Thank goodness I'm now controlled, but that could go either way. Like, I'm allergic to a lot of things. It could go either way. One of the reasons why I think mast cell is so interesting to talk about is, believe it or not, I have HSD. If you've seen the previous video where I spoke about this, I don't have diagnosed mast cell disorder. I have all of the symptoms. Hey, Chicky. Hello. How you doing? By the way, I'm allergic to cats, and I have a cat because that's how I roll. You coming? You gonna come see it? Yeah? You gonna come see it? Good boy. I don't actually have a diagnosed mast cell condition. I have all of the symptoms. I respond to all of the treatment, and the blood tests are inconclusive. This kind of frustration is something that you will probably come across a lot in your adventures in Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, mast cell dysautonomia, all of the assorted cracker barrel of fun. Oh, look, chicken's on TV. That's my cat, sorry. Getting believed is part of the battle, and then actually finding proof is another part of the battle. I know that I have some sort of mast cell situation happening. I have no proof of it. I have no blood test to back it up. I have an IgE that would, which is your immunoglobulin. I use goblins. Immunoglobulin something. I can't remember what it is, but it's basically like your histamine level. Mine is whack. Mine's way off the thing. It's very, very high. But that's when they were treating me for a severe allergic asthma. When all the other symptoms started to pile in, they sort of went, oh, okay, we're not really sure what to do with all these. We can't figure out what this is. One of your markers is actually low, which is tryptase, which is what they check for mastocytosis and mast cell, is normal. But I'm on 5 medicines for asthma and allergy reactions. So clearly I have a lot going on. There's not nearly enough research into this yet, but there will be more. They're currently doing a lot of research on it. It's one of those things that there's actually, believe it or not, still doctors, even in here in Australia, that don't actually believe that mast cell activation disorder even exists. They know about mastocytosis, but they don't even believe that mast cell activation disorder is a thing. I saw an immunologist that didn't believe it was a thing. Then I saw one of his colleagues who's an expert in it and said, oh yes, it's definitely a thing, but you don't have it. So I'm kind of in limbo, getting treated for something I don't have, which is treating me successfully. I still don't have answers. So I'm very sorry if this video doesn't give you the answers that you're hoping for, but that's the nature of mast cell activation. So hang on, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not going to knock over my tea, are you? I hope not. Something you also may, I don't know if you can see it with my hair wrap on. If you can see, I have lost probably 80% of my hair. We don't know why. It could be mast cell. It could be Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It could be something else altogether. It could be celiac. I'm being tested for that because, again, with the problem with wheat. It could be stress. Like I have some stress. We don't know. We don't know. And I think that's probably one of the more frustrating things about mast cell EDS is just how many question marks there are. And I think that's something that's going to frustrate people that are looking for all the answers from this video, is that one of the most frustrating things about all of this stuff is that there are no solid answers. If you are one of the blessed few who can get a test and get a positive result and go, wow, I know what I have, and get treated and carry on with your day, I'm jealous, man. I would love to know for sure what it is. Around 10% of people with mastocytosis and around 10% of people with mast cell disorder have the situation, but their tests don't bear out. So the expectation is I'm in that 10%, but we don't know for sure. Like, is it something altogether different? Who knows? We don't know. It's very, very frustrating. It makes it very hard to take yourself seriously when you have symptoms, but it also makes it very hard to get treated by doctors and have them believe you. When you can't actually prove the thing you have, it makes it very hard to make you not sound like you're nuts. And this is something I have come across with multiple doctors, and only the fact that I'm heckin' stubborn am I still in this game, because I have seen so many specialists in so many different areas. The other problem with things like EDS and mast cell and dysautonomia and all these things is that they are whole body problems, yet there is no one doctor that treats just that one, the whole thing. If you have asthma, you go see a respiratory specialist. My respiratory specialist is an absolute legend. If you have skinny itch stuff, you go see an immunologist. If you have digestive problems, you go see a gastroenterologist. If you have problems with your liver, you have liver markers are all over the place, like me. You see a hepatologist. If you think you might have a thyroid problem, you go see an endocrinologist. If you have migraines, you go and see a neurologist or a neurosurgeon. If you have some weird, like dyshidrotic eczema, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, probably not. You can sort of see the shiny, yeah, it's great, it's very painful. You go see a dermatologist. Not one of these doctors is well versed in any of these other things, because they are specialists in their own area. So if I go see a dermatologist and I lay out all my issues, they're going to look at me and go, right, I'm going to look at your skin and see what's wrong with you. They're not going to think, I don't know what to do with a digestive issue. I'm going to go and see a gastroenterologist. So you play the daisy chain bounce game and go to each one of these different specialists hoping for an answer, and no one has any idea what any other doctor is doing, so none of it ever becomes a whole picture. I'm very much hoping, apart from the chaos that I bring to the table, that my videos might actually help you find somewhere to go and find some way to connect some of these things and how to look into it further and do your own research, of course, but also go and see these doctors. Don't just go, well, if my immunologist doesn't know what this is, then it's probably nothing. Go and see a gastroenterologist, go and see a cardiologist, go and see whoever. I thought for the longest time I had a heart condition because my heart rate would go through the roof. It was an allergy response. Like, this is the thing. If we don't understand how all these things work, how are we ever supposed to know who to go see if our doctor has never heard of it? And this is part of the problem that we're facing, is that mast cell activation is so poorly understood that you have to rely on your medical professional to actually have heard of every possible disorder and disease out there. And if you come to them with it, then they discount you because I'm a doctor, I went to medical school, I'm sure I know more than your 1 hour on Google. And that is a huge problem because they don't know. These disorders, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is 1 hour in medical school. It's 1 hour of like 3 slides at medical school. It's not a whole like specialty the way cardiology is, or gastroenterology. These things cross into many, many different disciplines. So no one doctor is going to pick it up. And the chances of you getting a doctor that goes, I think I know what you have here. This crosses many different things. Have you considered XYZ? And it's so rare. Like there's stories of doctors actually picking up Ehlers-Danlos syndrome before someone comes to them with it are so rare. In my experience, the most of the people that I have talked to, and I've probably spoken to a couple of hundred people over the last few years, it's all like, I figured this out. I took it to my doctor. They did all of the tests and they figured out, yeah, actually, I do have EDS, or I do have dysautonomia, or I do have... We have to become our own advocates. And that doesn't just mean getting angry at the doctor if they get it wrong. It means you need to be researching this. You need to look it up. You need to understand things like, what is a mast cell? What is a allergy reaction? What does anaphylaxis actually look like? What is an allergy? And what is a intolerance? Like, I had a doctor that said to me, oh, that's not an allergy, that's an intolerance. And I thought, dude, why are we splitting hairs? Of course I'm not a doctor. I don't know the precise term. I'm saying, hey, dude, when I eat virtually anything, I have to run to the bathroom within 10 minutes and not leave for half an hour. It's ruining my life. Can we do something about that? It doesn't matter if I get the term wrong. I want to be taken seriously. I want to receive treatment. I have received treatment. I'm taking a medicine that now prevents that. I also know that staying away from wheat, for me specifically, is something that was causing a problem. I found that out on my own. I asked my doctor to test me on the medicine that helps that. And lo and behold, it helped that. I had to get here on my own. I don't want that for you. I hope that you are either, either if you're just starting your journey with all of this nonsense, or if you'll put way too many years into it and still don't have answers, I hope one of my videos may trigger something for you where you go, ooh, hadn't thought of that, or I should look into that, or okay, research. Let me take this research to my doctor. I really, really hope I can make your life easier. That may be giving you information, it may be entertaining you, it may be making you really grateful you're not me, it may be showing you some of my papercraft, it may be talking about one of my favorite dinosaurs or sharks or Sylvanian families. I'm hoping that something that I say in some way helps you, even if it's to distract you from what's going on in your life for 25 minutes or however long my videos run for. I hope I'm able to give you something that makes your life easier. I hope we can all do that for each other. If you have some sort of information about something, whether you have mast cell yourself or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, dysautonomia, fibromyalgia, any of the cavalcade of nonsense that we all get barraged with, feel free to drop some knowledge in the comments. I would love to see us helping each other out. And again, I'm not talking about what medicines help you or what doctors. That's something for you and your medical team to figure out. I'm talking about information. What's a great website we should be checking up? What's a cool fact that we probably didn't know? What's the latest research that's suggesting XYZ? That's the kind of stuff I want to see us share with each other openly. Nothing I do will ever be behind a paywall. I don't believe in keeping information that's super important to people behind something that you have to pay to access. I fully understand people asking people to pay for things they have created, like art, full-length information documentaries, fair enough. But information should be free, it should be accessible, it should be easy to get, and it should be accurate. Brings me back to my original point. I am not a doctor, bro. I'm a rando on the internet. Please do your research. Please don't listen to the cookers that tell you that it's all you have to do is take this supplement and you'll be fine. Because no, you cannot. Believe me when I tell you, I am decades deep in this nonsense. There is no quick fix. There is no one medicine that solves all your problem. There is no one thing that you stop eating and you'll be fine. There is no one supplement that you need to take. There is no... Doctors don't want you to know. Yeah, they do, man. No one is trying to keep you from knowing anything. Anything that tells you that, click away. Run for the hills as fast as your dodgy joints will take you. Information is out there. Please do your due diligence and check from reputable sources, things like the Ehlers-Danlos Society, excuse me, government health departments. I know that in some places in the world, health departments have gotten a bit sketchy over the last couple of years. Health departments are a trusted source. Things like the NHS, the NIH, the CDC, the Department of Health here in Australia, the New South Wales Health is my state. These are all trusted sources. Okay, the Lancet is a great journal. The Journal of Immunology, I'm trying to think of some of the others. Going blank. I will link as many as I can that are really helpful in the comments. These are trusted sources, okay? Randos on the internet are not a trusted source. I'm not a trusted source. I'm a rando on the internet. I may be a good jumping off point to check out trusted sources, but please don't take randos on the internet word for it. Do really good research yourself. Take that research to your doctor. Get the help you deserve. If your doctor dismisses you, see another doctor. I've spoken before in other videos that I realize I have a privilege as being a white person, that I'm far more likely to be taken seriously by doctors. I also have universal healthcare here in Australia, so cost is not an issue. I can go see my GP for free. I know that that's not something that everyone can access wherever they are. I'm saying it's not that simple, obviously. I'm saying it's something that you deserve. If you're not being treated properly, if you're not being listened to, if you're not getting an answer, if you're being dismissed, if you're being misdiagnosed, if you're getting treatment that's making you worse, all of these things, you have a right and even a responsibility to yourself to put your foot down and say, no, you're not going to treat me like that. I deserve better. Let this be the video that says to you, if it doesn't feel right, you need to go and get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion. It doesn't make you a doctor shopper. It makes you an informed patient that wants answers. People love to think that there's a hypochondriac element to our community. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are people out there that think they have everything. I find the percentage would be extremely low. And the people that I have spoken to all have visible symptoms. They have rashes, they have flushing, they have dermatographia, they have, asthma, these are not things that you can imagine. You can't imagine symptoms, okay? You know in yourself if you're looking for attention or if you really do genuinely think you have something, okay? I'm speaking to those people, and that's the majority. If something doesn't feel right, keep at your doctors until they treat you with respect and actually find answers for you, or help you find someone who can, because that's how it should be. That's how all medical treatment should be. Don't stop until you get the help you deserve. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you can check out some of my other videos. Not all of them are medical. There will be videos on papercraft, there's videos on dinosaurs, there's videos on sharks, on Sylvanian families. There's a lot out there. So I hope you guys can enjoy some of those, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.